Welcome to Community Builders, the podcast where we look for the helpers in the hyperlocal Chico community. I am thrilled to be here with Bonnie Pipkin, author, creator? Is that what we had said? Yeah.
Creator.
Bonfire Storytelling. Thank you for being here, Bonnie.
Thanks for having me.
How's your morning going so far?
Morning's okay.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm a morning person.
Yeah, me too. It's a blessing and a curse at the same time. Tell me, what is Bonfire Storytelling?
So Bonfire Storytelling is a multi-generational storytelling event. Started off having it every month, but we have since changed that to every other month. What we do is tell personal stories on stage, and each show has 5 roughly storytellers, each from a different age decade. So sometimes teens, someone in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. We've had up to 90s.
Wow.
Would have higher if there were someone.
Yeah, any 100-year-olds,
yeah.
any centenarians out there who want to participate.
And so we choose a theme every month, and it's modeled off of the Moth, which is the premier storytelling on stage event. And it has evolved into a beautiful coming together of community, a really connecting experience for people who participate and people who come to see it.
It has exploded. It is so popular. It's one of the most engaging community events, and I've been to them. It is like, what, an hour, 2 hours length usually? Kind of varies.
Yeah, I'd say about 2 hours with the intermission and everything.
And then it's these like excellent stories that you just hear one after another from a real person on stage with the mic, thematic. How do you choose the themes? And
people ask me that all the time, and I think that there is kind of a magic that happens with Bonfire, and there's no real formula or anything about the themes. They do just kind of occur to me. Sometimes they're tongue-in-cheek for me only, and then sometimes they're responsive to something that's happening, and sometimes it's just my random idea. Yeah.
That's awesome. And what's the significance of it being multi-generational? I love that angle. It makes a lot of sense, just at surface value, right? To hear a themed story told by a young person versus told by someone who's an elder, you're going to get a different perspective.
Yeah.
Why? How did you land on that?
The idea of it?
Yeah.
Okay, so, that aspect of it was modeled after a storytelling show that I used to see when I lived in New York called Generation Women.
Oh, cool.
Always would leave those events feeling like, that feeling, that connecting, empathetic, just what happens when you witness or bear witness, I guess, to someone's experience, and listen. And when I moved back to Chico, I grew up here, lived in New York a couple decades, came back. I wanted to do something, and I had that little kind of inkling of a feeling. And so the multi-generational aspect has many different effects. One of the effects is that it creates a multi-generational audience, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Just if you think about the spaces that we, occupy or whatever, it's not often that, a 20-year-old is sitting next to a 75-year-old in an audience consuming the same content, right?
Yeah.
There's a generational interest,
Right.
People, I don't know. So that happens. And also, we just get to, people have experienced more life if they're older. People have a newer perspective if they're younger. And it's all just comes together. I don't know. Yeah.
I love that it's something about it feels so timeless, feels so just absolutely appropriate for this moment, where so much of the world has moved to a different model of storytelling and story consumption. And it's hyper siloed, right? Where you're definitely only around your social graph, which tends to be your age group. And it is short. It's really quick. And so this is like the antithesis of that. This is like long form, extra human, and intentionally non like exclusive.
Yeah.
Right? It's like the bubble is big. The bubble is like welcoming to all folks. Is that like part of what motivates how you put this together? Is that a consideration at all?
For sure. So I think, well, I'm going to just, I had one little thought bubble there, but and then I'll answer that. But, you know, the reason why storytelling is so powerful and why it's so important is that what it does is it breaks down stereotypes. It really just, you know, if you hear a person's experience, you understand that they're not just a cluster or a stereotype is what.
Right.
So so that happens, and then I've just forgotten what what else I was going to say. Where were we going?
I love that though, and so I guess what I'm getting at is like, why is this so wanted right now? What have we lost with this other form of storytelling? And because like this is, I don't want to mince words about this. Like your event is amazing. It draws tons of people. There's so much like love and interest from the speakers to the audience. It's one of the most beloved things Chico has right now.
Yeah. Thank you.
Why is it being so welcomed?
Okay. Well, I do put a lot of care into who is on the stage. It is very thoughtful who is up there. It's not only am I trying to plug in someone in each age, I'm also thinking about diversity. I'm thinking about representation all across, from age to, you know, I want to have queer people on stage. I want to have people of color. My cheeky rule is that there can only ever be one straight white guy in a lineup. That's all.
That's funny.
And we do have them. We love them. I married one. It's fine. But I think about that. I think about who's up there, and then and I think that does something else to create connection. Like it's representative of the world. It's not, you know, we are many things, and yet we all have this common human experience. And ultimately it is about the common human experience and what we have in common, you know?
I love that. And I want to talk a little bit more about what we stand to gain from that, right? Because when we break down stereotypes and we do get a better understanding of all people, not just the ones who have the easiest access to power and representation, what do we gain as a community, and how does that help everyone?
Well, I mean, on one level, we're living in an extremely divided time, and there's a whole lot of anger, just kind of like you can feel it. You turn on the radio, you can feel it. You know, whatever you're consuming anywhere, and we're all consuming so much. That there's something at Bonfire. There's something very like essential. It's not. There isn't an agenda. There isn't like. Well, I mean, I guess there's a small agenda like in like connection. But that's a nicer agenda than a lot of people have.
It feels less like an agenda.
Yeah,
it feels more like a goal.
A
right?
goal,
it's
a goal.
Like, or something. No, I completely get that. And what do you like about the format of like people on stage with the mic, right? And correct me if I'm wrong, but do people do like PowerPoint, like
no
or
PowerPoint
keynote slide things?
No.
It's just them.
Yes. So every once in a while, someone wants to have a PowerPoint or a
thing,
slide or a picture, and to me that makes it feel like a lecture rather than a story.
Okay.
So that's not allowed. I do like rules, kind of.
You got to have some.
I like to break them too.
That's right.
But not so much. I don't know. It's just, again, like I'm going to use the word essential. Like there's something like just, well, we communicate by telling stories, right?
Yeah.
And have since the beginning of time. And so there is this kind of base level understanding of the type of communication it is. And then it's not a performance. I mean, it is. It's a show. but I don't have, you're not getting up there and acting. You're getting
Right.
up there and being yourself, you know?
Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah.
And I don't have, it's not professionals. It's not people, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, sometimes people like are terrified and don't talk in front of people. There's a lot of people from the university used to talking in front of people, or actors and performers, of course. But interesting thing with actors is that they are usually up on stage being someone else,
Yeah.
and so there is this thing that happens. They're like, oh, I have to be myself up
Yeah,
here,
no, yeah,
which is different.
takes some figuring out.
But it's real, I guess, and I think, yeah.
When did you know you loved stories?
I mean, I think forever.
Yeah.
I'm a big reader. I'm a writer, and I have always loved stories. Yeah, in all forms, film, books,
Yeah.
hanging out, long car rides where you get
Okay,
to know
road trips.
someone. And you just talk and talk and talk, and yeah.
Tell me about being an author and what you've written and
Okay.
how that came about. Yeah.
Yeah, so I identify as a writer. That is, if someone were to ask me what my like first art form is, I think, I'm an artist of many different genres, but writer is like where I feel most myself. I've always loved words. I've always written stories, and yeah, I wrote a novel that came out in 2017. It's called Aftercare Instructions. It was published with Macmillan with Flatiron Books.
Awesome.
As I was telling you, I recorded the audiobook. And I am currently working on another project that's a domestic thriller project.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah, which
Whoa.
is, yeah.
Do you have
I know, I
a
wear
release
many
date?
hats.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
yeah, it's with a company called Alloy. They're a book packaging company, branch of Warner Brothers. And yeah, so it's been years now because as you know,
Yeah.
fill my plate with many other things.
True.
And the first thing that goes the first thing that goes is exercise. And then the second thing that goes is the writing. So
Tell me about the process of writing a book. That's something that I first of all think is extremely cool, and I want to see more people doing that.
Yeah.
What is that like for you? Is it like a lock yourself in a study with a typewriter? Or is
yeah.
it like you writing on your notes doc on your phone?
No,
Ideas as they come?
well, I do a lot of handwriting actually to start, and then my laptop. I do know a guy who wrote a whole novel on his phone, but
Okay.
no, that's not for me.
Yeah. It's a lot of thumb work.
Yeah, it's a lot of homework. He wrote it on his commute. So, there is this kind of, again, magic about books. Like when you read a book, or actually I'll just talk about my book, the book that's published, when people tell me like I sat down and I read it in a day, it's like, oh wow, a day, years of my life. But that's what you want, right?
Yeah.
Like that's also the work of a producer, like someone who's producing something is making something appear like it's just magically there, but all of this work has been done underneath it, right? And
Yeah.
I love that feeling. That's why I love producing shows and why I love creating this piece of work that you think that it just comes out, but it doesn't, like it's drafts.
labor.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's labor.
Arduous labor.
I always say the art of writing is in the revision. And so I also teach writing at Chico State, and it's all, you see this like frustration of like, they think it's supposed to be perfect the first time. So I spend a lot of time being like, we're drafting. Like I actually want to see the junk first,
that's right.
and then let's work with it. So yeah, it's just, honestly, to write a book, all you have to do is sit down and do it. And that's the hardest part. Like we don't sit down and do that and keep doing it.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of people start books and then you have to keep going.
It's interesting that the labor to it, the work, it is very real.
Yeah.
I vividly remember being in like elementary school and having my moment of like, I can picture what a horse looks like. I'll just draw it, right?
Totally.
And then it's like you're like it's like frustrating. You're like
Yeah.
mad at what comes out, right? Because it doesn't look anything like the thing. If you can see it in your head, why wouldn't you be able to just make it on the paper,
Totally.
right? And it's this feeling of like, oh, I guess I have to labor. I guess I
Yeah.
have to keep practicing and trying and do the parts that aren't as easy,
Mm-hmm.
which is good advice because I think that knowing that going in makes you more equipped to follow through
Yeah.
and complete it.
And I don't really want to talk about AI on this, but I'm going
I almost
to.
went there too. Yeah. Okay.
But I mean, that's the thing is that there's this thing that's existing that's taking away that labor. You know, it's taking away the magic that happens when you let yourself put the messy horse out first, you know, and
Yeah.
like what happens in the creative process when you have to rework something.
And I'm so with you on that because what are we losing, right? When we don't go like it's like getting the prize without doing the work to get you there
Yeah.
is like less satisfying. But there's also like a whole like you lose a layer of artistry to it because it wasn't
Absolutely.
earned. And my daughter, let's see if I can tell this very quickly. We make like she has a stuffed dog named Woof, and we make like little school catalogs for him to choose what classes he takes.
Okay.
And I've typically drawn it with like a Crayola, marker, and we play this game. But the other day I generated one, and it was like a very professional school catalog looking thing, and we're choosing classes. And at one point she goes, "Can we go back to the ones that you drew? Like this doesn't
Yeah.
feel." And she's only 6, but there's something there, right, where she understands the difference between like, well, we drew it, and so
Yeah.
it's more special, even though it might not look, identical to like the Peralta Community Colleges Guide, which is
Totally.
what I modeled my other one after. There's something more artful, and there's something more human, and there's something more rewarding about
Yeah.
when you do it yourself. And so I think that is something that's a little bit intrinsic. Like all of us can sense it, right? Even when
Can.
you're little.
Yeah.
Have you had any AI like in Bonfire
Oh.
controversy? Has anyone asked about using it or not using
Oh.
it? Or
No.
yeah, it's because I can imagine that
That's
becoming a
against the
thing.
rules.
Yeah, good. That's right.
Yeah. No, I mean it's so telling your story.
Yeah.
You're using your voice and you don't have to tell it there's no like perfect polish
That's
version.
right.
There's no standard that's there even if it looks that way. Like there isn't. Like
Yeah.
it's better it's more interesting to have the different voices up there,
Yeah.
and that's what in AI, like there is an AI voice, like
Mm-hmm.
you just, I mean, it's just devoid of voice or something, like that's
Yeah.
what you can feel this kind of emptiness, and
Yeah.
it is like the work underneath the drafts, the like, yeah,
It's really kind of making these conversations of like, what does it mean to be human and what is art, more and more and more important. Which brings me back to another thing that I think is exceptional about Bonfire is that it is providing a platform for multi-generational people to have conversations. And I feel like that's a nod to third spaces, a nod to
Totally.
like being able to meet and know the people in your neighborhood
yeah,
and talk about the things that are on your mind rather than feel connected by being online and like finding a
Totally.
connection by like hating on something together, which is I
Yeah.
think like the easiest mode online. Instead it becomes this it's kind of the opposite. I have to try to like the people that I'm with, right?
yeah.
Have you what is that like? And do you feel like that's appreciated by your audience and by the people that participate? Is there a lot of conversation?
Yeah, actually, in fact, many people tell me that they go to Bonfire and then when they leave Bonfire, they keep talking, like they come up with their own, like what would my story in that theme be, and
So
keep
cool.
keep
Yeah.
talking. And another thing that's kind of amazing and uniquely like our community in Chico is that now Bonfire has been here we're about to celebrate our 3rd anniversary. And
Congratulations.
thank you. I counted recently, but it's like 100-ish people have told stories, right? So that's 100 people that have shared something here, and so you start to see them around, and you're like, oh, that's the one. You know, I heard
Yeah.
that story, and like something more about them. It's not just
Yeah.
yeah.
These are the people in your neighborhood.
These
Yeah,
are the
yeah.
people. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, even I mean just last night I was actually in Sacramento and just randomly ran into someone who was in Bonfire
What?
and she ended up joining us at our dinner table, and like it just it was great. But
Uh,
yeah.
the definition of community building.
Totally.
That's what that is.
Yeah.
That's really impressive.
Yeah, so can I talk about the 3-year anniversary
Yes,
for a
please.
second?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we're doing I reached out to past storytellers and ended up with 52 of them coming back to tell stories for a weekend kind of festival vibe. And so it's like just a full weekend of stories. And normally I didn't talk too much about this, but I do work with the storytellers to get their story together before it's up on stage for the anniversary show. I'm like, y'all have done this before. Like I can't work with 52 people before the show. But I'm encouraging them to work in their groups.
Yeah, you deputize. Yeah.
Like who are you going to be telling a story with? Like make a little cohort. And,
Yeah.
So
Are you doing further any more celebrations for the 3-year?
So that is the celebration, but it's going to be in a different location. We're normally at the Women's Club. We're going to be in a barn on private property.
Amazing.
And just invited some musicians back who have been part of the show, because part of Bonfire we also have music, which is another form of storytelling, of course. And and we'll have pedal press there, live screen printing our anniversary shirts, and we'll have our regular wonderful vendors who come every time. And
That's amazing.
It's a big coming together.
Yeah. It's historic. I can't wait to see what the 4th and 5th anniversaries look like too. Yeah.
I'm tired thinking about it now.
How did you get like this? And why is it that you have chosen to spend your time building community in the way that you have?
How did I get like this? Is it a blessing? Is it a curse? I don't know. I can't think of any other way to be. I think I am blessed with a whole lot of energy. Like that's first of all, like I just want to be doing stuff all the time. I do need to crash out too, but and I value that time too.
Sure.
Although my friends are thinking I probably need more rest, but
they're probably not wrong.
Yeah. Let's see. So I guess I was raised in a home that encouraged achievement. So I was always, I've always been an overachiever to some degree, like getting the good grades and then also like always wanting to make stuff. I don't know, just wanting to, before I even knew what a producer was, I was I was making, I made circuses in my basement that everyone would come to see. And I just have, even when I worked at a restaurant, I was like, on Friday nights, let's have a theme. And like all the servers are going to come dressed this way. Like I just always wanting to make joy and bring people to and be with people. I guess I'm extroverted, even though I'm a writer, because most writers are introverted. I don't know. I guess it's just it's a calling, and I just, what's interesting is that I see it. I also have children, and they're 7 and 4, and I see it in my 7-year-old. Like I can kind of see myself again, and I don't want to put too much of that on her, but I just like I took her to see a production that Inspire did. And as soon as we were in the car, she was like, I want to do that in our backyard. Like, Daddy's gonna build the stage, and and I was just like, you are producing right now. I love that.
Oh, that's amazing.
Because whatever, you never know what someone's gonna walk away with when you see something. And so for her, she saw that somebody made something, and then she's also seeing that that's what I do. And I don't know where I saw it. It's not my parents are smart people. They're not like creators, like my dad is a science, math, engineer, navigator mind.
Whoa, yeah.
My mom is like a very wonderful, supportive, warm, kind, generous person, who sort of holds us all together. And I think a lot of times I think about my parents, my dad, who's like a very like ferocious, I don't know if he's gonna like that description, but he,
Lovingly ferocious.
Yeah, lovingly ferocious. And my mom, who is just like this kind of like calm holder. And like genetically I got both of those things, which like I have this like drive and fight and like I must achieve and get things. And then I also like had modeled to me like caretaking and like,
which is surely what you're doing. That's like there's a part of this whole thing that feels a little bit like stewardship of the community. What is something that you wish someone would have told you when you were younger? And what's like your advice to your younger self, or to maybe a young person who has that energy, who's watching? What do you wish they knew ahead of time?
That the things that you think matter so much don't end up mattering, like if you have an idea, honestly, just go for it.
It's fantastic advice.
And like if somebody is trying to stop that, like there's ways around it, like you kind of, there's always kind of like a jumping into the fire feeling when you make something, and there's all along the way there are going to be like reasons not to do something. Like it's much easier not to do something actually.
Totally.
Like you have to go into stuff with unknowns. Like you can't know everything before you do it. Like, and
embrace that.
You want. It's like it takes a lot of surrender.
That's right.
To create. And it's hard. Like I'm controlling. I'm definitely controlling, but like you have to surrender. Like you have to like believe in the final outcome, and it's not gonna be the same horse in your head. I'm gonna bring it back to that, but like. It will be something if you put your heart into it, right? So
exactly right.
I'm standing on my soapbox. But
you are that. You are the embodiment of someone who is lovingly ferocious, who is a steward of this community, who encourages the conversations that we should be having. As we wind down here, how can this community support Bonfire and Bonnie Pipkin in what you do? How can we show you the love that you deserve?
Just show up.
Show up.
Just show up. Yeah. Show up as yourself.
Awesome. Look for Bonfire events. I could not recommend these more. Do you have any other favorite community builders around town you want to shout out really quick?
Oh, my favorite community builders. Putting me on the spot.
Yeah. Or just maybe like a couple nonprofits you like.
Yeah. Well, I love Metric.
Okay. Well, we
I love what y'all are doing.
Try our best.
Yeah.
We feel really honored to be able to connect with folks like you and to be able to tell these stories. I think that we have an obligation to, and it's a lot of fun. I get to like have these kinds of conversations.
Thank you. Yeah. I love what's happening in Chico in general. We have like just people are doing stuff everywhere. I love Monka. I love, I love our like progressive city council people that
you
are
sit
shaking
on the arts
things
commission
up.
also,
I am
right?
on the arts commission.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I like our arts commission. We're like trying to get stuff done, and
awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you for what you do. Thank you for being in this community, for taking care of it, where I live, where my family lives. Thanks for building community, Bonnie.
You're welcome.